Hello and welcome to a very quick episode 61, and I've actually had a request in from a guy called Dave in Immingham who is into wildlife photography, and he's bought a Sennheiser 416 shotgun microphone, which he was told was a really good one for recording narration for his programs. So I figured I would try and put his mind at rest a bit, because obviously he's quite worried that he's bought the wrong microphone. And in his email he asked if there's a chance that I could just put the two things quickly together and tell him whether or not he's made a silly choice. And I don't think he has at all. The one thing about using any microphone for narration is that it suits your voice. Now, clearly I use this SM7B microphone as a sort of comparison microphone, and that's what we're listening to me on now. The advantage of using a shotgun microphone for capturing a voice close in is that the microphone really is just concentrating on this sort of area. So it's ignoring the ceiling, it's ignoring the floors, it's ignoring whatever is going on at the sides, and it's aimed at my mouth. So a shotgun microphone close in like that gives a very particular type of sound. Now, if you've got any noise in the room like aircon and things like that, so rumbling away, low frequency stuff from fans, well, that microphone is really more cardioid at low frequencies, so it might hear those. But at speech frequencies, so what we're talking, 300 to maybe 4,000 or so, these are very narrow microphones, and I think that's why they became popular with people for doing narration in rooms that are not particularly nice sounding. Now, the one thing you do have to be careful of with a shotgun, of course, is what's behind me. So if I move my head out of the way, it's listening to that wall there. Now, luckily in this particular studio, there's nothing coming from there. It's all soft. So I don't really get any reflections from the wall behind me. For me, I use the cardioid SM7B just because it gives me a bit of freedom to move side to side. So let's go back to the SM7B. So we're on the SM7B at the moment. Now, if I move left and right, I can do quite a big range before I start to sound different. I mean, if I come over here, I'm now quite off to one side. So the microphone is aiming over here. So if I'm talking to you now and I'm off mic, really, I can come back onto the axis of the microphone here, and if I come across to this side there, that gives me a fairly wide range. Now, if we do that with the 416, I'm on axis at the moment, but if I come across this side here, we get a shift in the tonal sound, and we go back to the middle, and if I come across here again, I'm now almost out of that very narrow upper range pattern that it's got. So they need to be pointed. But lots of people do use 416s, and I've come across people who've got treated spare bedrooms who will do their narration in there. They maybe have only got a couple of duvets hanging up on the walls just to soak up some of the reflections. But duvets on the walls and a 416 can do a pretty good job. And as long as you've got a pair of headphones so you can hear what you're actually recording, you can make sure that you stay in that sort of sweet spot in the middle. The SM7B, if we go back to that one, is a much more forgiving microphone. And it also, of course, doesn't have that sort of proximity effect that many microphones exhibit when you're getting close. So if I go in really close to the SM7B, so here we are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's me talking into the SM7B with probably 3 inches in front of it, typical of the sort of thing that you'll see on YouTube. Now, if we go back out again and swap to the 416 and do exactly the same thing, if I now come in on the 416, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, this is the 416 in close. I'll now come back out again. That's the difference, isn't it? Something to consider maybe. So there we go. That's the 416 versus the SM7B. I don't use my 416 for anything other than outside stuff with a proper Zeppelin style windshield on it. It normally lives in that all its time. It's very rare for it to ever come out. So it lives inside that windshield, because outside these mics are absolutely dreadful in wind. So you do need to have proper wind protection on any of the shotgun mics, and the 416 is no exception. It needs looking after in even gentle wind. Indoors, no such problem. So there we go. Let's hope that answers your query. I don't normally get very many queries on the videos, but if anybody has got any queries on any of the microphones that we've reviewed over the last year or so, do get in touch, and if I can, I'll try and do a review for you. Anyway, there we go. Take care. See you all later. Have a good week.